Welcome back to Slow Lane K. This is going to be a little bit different video. I'm obviously not in the garage today. I'm in my home studio. Little backstory, I was a touring musician for quite a few years and still like to make music at home, but that's for another day. So I want to do this video because I have been getting this question quite a bit on Instagram of why did you buy a Honda K-Van or Honda Street or Honda Acti? Why did you buy that little van? And so I kind of wanted to go over what intrigued me about the Honda Acti or Honda Street and why I decided to pull the trigger on one. So I'm going to go over some key areas of ultimately why I picked the Honda Street, why I imported versus buying the Honda Street, and then kind of the unique design that intrigued me about the van. So it all kind of started back when I learned to drive. I was quite intrigued by just vans themselves. I guess being a musician, I thought having a van, you could put all your friends in there, you could put all your gear in there, and that's all you needed. And I think that's kind of where my interest in vans has always been. And I've always been into unique vehicles, I guess, as far as my motorcycles. I've been into motorcycles for many years and have a lot of different bikes. I've had different scooters, different displacements. So I've always been into kind of finding the unique, whether motorcycle, car, whatever it is, because I feel like I'm a fairly unique individual too. So I started watching videos online about 2 years ago and came across what a K-Van was. I was like, oh my gosh, that's just right up my alley. It's just a small, unique micro van, everything I was interested in, because I've seen the trucks and I've seen, some of the other cars and stuff like that, but the vans, how cool are those? So I began the process of like kind of researching kind of how do I even get one of these? Is it even legal? And at that point I started researching in Texas, where I'm from. They actually weren't legal yet. But I kind of followed the process of watching them become legal in Texas so we could actually register and drive them. I started looking online, seeing, just searching K-Vans, K-Vehicles, trying to figure out what's available locally. And then just kind of going through like Facebook Marketplace and just kind of searching. There really wasn't much out there that I felt comfortable buying or really going to see. Just the price tag on these already imported vehicles were pretty ridiculous. I'd say much more than what my budget was, I should say. I think it's reasonable for after being imported in the process that somebody has to go through. I think that's reasonable, but ultimately just way out of my budget. I recently, or at that time, I sold a motorcycle, and that was kind of my budget. I was like, okay, so I've got not too much money to play with, and I want to get this van. Nothing's online, so let me start looking down that process of how do I buy one? How do I import it? What do I do? So as I'm doing my research, I was coming across some other vehicles out there. I was like, well, maybe instead of doing this import process, I just find something here. So shoot, I was even looking at a Honda Odyssey. I was looking at one of those Nissan NV 250 vans or whatever it is, Ford Econoline vans, but I just had my heart stuck on that small van. I even came across the Tillamook cheese van. And I was trying to figure out, could I even make one of these? Could I chop a VW bus up and weld it back together? I don't know. Let's figure out a better process for that. Let me figure out how to import. So I started on a website called Car from Japan, and just kind of started scrolling, kind of making myself more familiar with what vehicles are out there. From the vans to the cars to the larger non-K vehicles. Just started understanding what's available, understanding where I should start my search of vehicles that that are 25 years or older. So at that point, it'd have to be a 1999 or older for me to be able to legally import. So after a couple weeks of kind of searching through, I was kind of stuck between a Honda Acti or a Subaru Sandbar van, but I think I was just most intrigued by the Hondas. I feel like I'm a Honda guy as far as like power sports, you know, motorcycles, scooters, and stuff like that. So I think I leaned more towards Honda for that reason. I came across the Honda Acti, and then I realized that the trim level, the street, was a little bit had a little bit different trim. The paint jobs were a little bit different. The interiors were a little bit nicer, and I felt that was maybe the best route to go. I didn't want just kind of a bare box van, but I wanted something that was a little bit upscale, I should say. So I came across the Honda Street. Looked through the pictures. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go with this one. I went ahead and just ordered it online, and then realized that I don't know what I just did, and I have to now import it. I started that tedious process of kind of figuring out how to do that. So this is back November 2024. So if you're watching this when it came out last year, I kind of started that process. And where does one start to do research? YouTube. So I started doing that research on YouTube and came across a guy named Wendell, and his page is Where's Wendell? And he went through this full process of how to import a vehicle. So I'm over here just taking notes, making sure that I'm kind of taking step by step. I'm going to link that video. It was very helpful for me, how he broke everything down. So I don't want to redo that video, but I'll just link Wendell's video. So from the point of ordering it in November of 2024, it finally landed in Freeport, Texas, March of 2025. So I took a trailer down, picked it up, came back up, and you can kind of see, if you look at my first video, that's that video of me getting it back home. So whenever I was at the port picking up the van, I honestly had no idea how small it actually was. I've never actually seen one in person, so I was just blindly ordering a vehicle online. And I go and I drive it around, and I was like, man, this is a micro van. You don't realize how small it actually is. So to give you context, the van itself is 10.5 feet long, and it's 4.5 feet wide. So to put that into perspective, a Honda Fit is 13.5 feet long, so 3 feet longer than my van, and it is 5.5 feet wide, so it's a foot wider than my van. So you think that a Honda Fit is a pretty small vehicle, but it's ultimately 3 feet longer than mine. And then even more perspective, a smart car. A smart car is about 8 feet long, so 2.5 feet shorter. 2.5 feet shorter than my vehicle, but also a foot wider. So if that gives you any perspective of how small this van actually is. So when I was looking at vehicles, I was looking for something that was fairly unique, and when I came across this, it had, you know, a 660cc motor, which is located in, I guess, the rear of the vehicle under this little hatch. It was also carbureted. I felt it was going to be easy to work on. There's no electronics to it, so I thought it would be pretty easy to work on. So with it being 660 cc's, which is half the displacement of one of my motorcycles, I knew it was going to be pretty slow. It had these little 13-inch wheels, which are pretty large. These vans come with 12-inch wheels. So getting this van, it already had bigger wheels than normal, which are pretty small if you think about really 13-inch wheels with pretty small tires on them. And they were all of, 4 or 5 inches wide. Also being unique, it's right-hand drive and it's manual. It's a little 5-speed, which at that point I've never driven a manual car before. So lots to learn. Some fun quirks about this van. It doesn't have a front end. So really when the gas pedal and the clutch and brake, I'm pretty much pushing all of that against the front of the vehicle. The oil filler is in this little weird, I guess that's on the back side, but you have to lift the trunk up to pull the little lever to open it. So some really interesting little quirks. The fact that I'm already in third gear by the time I hit maybe 20 miles an hour, and the fact that there's no rear seat belt. So it's got the rear seats but no seat belts. But ultimately there's so much headroom. I mean, I've got I feel like a foot above my head I am what, 5'10", and I've got plenty of leg room, so this little bitty micro car is fit for somebody I'd say under 6 feet, which is great. So I've got a couple friends that have the K trucks, and they were trying to talk me into getting a K truck, and I feel that I've already got a truck at home, and so I wanted something that I could ultimately say take camping, or leave stuff in the back. So if I go to the hardware store, I don't want to take the stuff out, just leave it in there. It's not open to the elements, and I think camping in a van like that would be pretty cool, because with the back seats folded down, I have 6 feet from the rear tailgate to the back of the front seats to lay down. So, and I've got about 2 inches to spare. So I think camping in that would be pretty cool. Hang up little lights in there and have a great time. So I've owned the van for about 6 months now, and every time I take it out, it turns heads. I get people waving at me. I get people stopping me as I'm getting in and out of it. I get people honking at me. Not too sure if it's because I'm going slow or the fact that they're like,
"Hey, cool van."
For example, I had a guy the other night. I was going down a single lane road, thought I was going the speed limit, and a guy pulled up real close behind me, a big truck, flashed his high beams and left them on. I'm like, what's going on? So I finally turned off that road to a 2-lane road, or I guess 2-lane road, and he doesn't pass me. I'm like, what's going on? And he pulls up next to me with his phone out. He's filming me as he's passing by. So weird way to show appreciation of the van, I guess, but you get all sorts of attention with it. So I'd highly recommend getting a K vehicle in general. They're so much fun, so quirky. If you have the time to learn how to import it and go through that full process, I'd highly recommend it. You will save a couple bucks. But if you are in the market to ultimately just buy one here in the States, have somebody take care of all of the registration, take care of all of that, I've got a buddy, his name is Jack, at Sunshine Imports. He's located here in Austin. I will put a link to his website below. Really cool guy. He's got a couple vehicles in stock, or you could reach out to him, say, hey, I'm looking for this specific thing, and he can find exactly what you're looking for. He also works with another guy that makes sure that all the maintenance is done before you even receive it. So making sure that all the maintenance items are taken care of, so you're not getting a vehicle that may have some potential issues. So you'd be in good hands with this guy. So ultimately, since you've made it this far to the video and listened to me yap, means that you are interested in some sort of K van, K vehicle. If you are, go down to the comments and let me know what vehicles you're interested in, whether it's a Suzuki Cappuccino, a Suzuki Jimny, Subaru Sandbar, van, truck, a van like mine. Let me know what you're interested in. I'm always interested to see why people like certain vehicles. So please go down to the comments and let's chat about it. So to wrap this up, I didn't get this van because it was fast, because it was big or anything like that. I got it because it was unique, and I felt it fit ultimately what I was looking for a couple of years, and it fits my personality, and the fact that it does bring a little attention every time I bring it out, which I don't mind. I like talking to people, having those conversations, because I get that questions like, what the heck is that, or why are you driving on the wrong side, or anything like that, or how fast does this thing go? I enjoy those conversations, so I always welcome those, and it's a great talking piece. So stay safe, stay slow, and make sure that you subscribe and like this video if you possibly can. It helps bring more attention to these videos, as I put one of these videos out every 2 weeks. I appreciate you making it this far in this video, so please subscribe. See you on the next one.